Good day, folks. How are you all doing? I hope everyone is absolutely fantastic, feeling groovy, realizing, of course, that the government really don't love you, and also realizing that pretty much everything you've been told since the day you were born is a lie. It is September 11th of 2025. Oh, I just realized it's September 11th. 8:35 a.m. Mr. Buzz coming to you from the heavily demon-infested province known as Ontario, Canada. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, so I ask. If you'd like to support the channel, there is information in the description on how you do so. And I also offer guitar lessons through Google Meet if you're interested in that. So I have a long list of comments that I got from people very happy that I've changed my intro. So I'll apologize again for the other one, but the reason I left it so long was it literally drew in a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people that said they heard that intro and it made them laugh so hard. That's why they subscribed right away. But I do agree. This is the channel of the Lord, and that isn't acceptable. So, and many of you have heard the story of how the Lord informed me I had to change it, which is another reason probably that he let me do it so he could do that and I could tell that story to you. So, which I'll tell again really quick. I knew I had to change it the other day, and I kept feeling guilty about still using that intro. And when I was down at the place where I pick up donations, like a Western Union kind of place, Money Mart they call it, and they're behind bulletproof glass because people get really upset in there when they ask for a loan and they get refused. And people get violent and nasty, so they're behind bulletproof glass. And there's a sign on the glass that the Lord used to answer my question. I said, I'm waiting in the line. I'm like, Lord, you really want me to change that intro, don't you? And he spun my head around to this little sign on the glass, and it said, no tolerance for swearing. It was zero tolerance for swearing. Like, whoa, okay. I read you loud and clear, Lord. I am sorry. I will repent and change that intro immediately. I'll never do that again. So, yeah, I think part of the reason he let me do that for a bit was so that could happen and I'd have a good story to tell everybody. More glory to God. This is the way he speaks. So I've never told this story before. I've been talking to all kinds of people, anointed people, in the last week, 2 weeks, whatever. And they've all told me stories about how the Lord saved their lives and how one told me a tornado took place. She didn't even flinch. There's a tornado going on. And it just went around her and never touched her. All kinds of stories like that. So one time, I forget the year, but I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia originally, or outside Halifax, but that's really close to where I'm from. And we had a hurricane called Hurricane Juan years ago, and it was a brutal one. It was unbelievable. Ripped the city to shreds. So the night before it happened, I had a girlfriend then, this girl I was seeing, and it wasn't super serious, but, you know, we saw each other pretty often. For some weird reason, my parents lived outside of town, about an hour and 20 minutes outside of town. So for some weird reason, this is something I never did. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and I look at her and I'm like, let's get out of town. Let's go to the country. She's like, okay, I got nothing really pressing. Yeah, sure, let's go. Take me wherever you want. So I had a little cabin in my parents' yard, actually, that I'd built. And when I went there, I stayed in that. So we get in the car and we go. We spend the night in my little cabin. She wanted to come back the next day, so we got in the car and headed back the next day. Didn't have any idea that a hurricane had ripped the entire city apart. We got home, we got to Halifax, and we started seeing the destruction. Trees uprooted, huge trees uprooted and ripped up big sections of sidewalk, and there was big chunks of metal twisted like a pretzel. It was just, the destruction was unbelievable that we witnessed, and I'm driving through it, and I'm like, whoa. We didn't even know what happened. So we're listening to the radio and figured out a hurricane had come and smashed the city apart. So I took her to her place. She had trees down and stuff, but her house was unscathed, okay? Not a bit of damage to her house. So we're like, whew, that's lucky. So she went in, and now I'm going to my house and see what kind of destruction happened there. Well, here's where it gets real interesting. I got to my house, and the street I lived on, I lived with my aunt and uncle. At that time, I was renting a room in their upstairs. When I got to my street, there were houses. My neighbor's roof was gone. It was on top of their cars. There was siding ripped off the houses. The windows were smashed out. Destruction. Pieces of houses fell on cars and crushed them completely. We are talking destruction, okay? The power was out in the entire city. Of course. Of course you're going to have a power outage. Except my house, not only unscathed, we had an outdoor garbage can sitting there. It hadn't even blown away. And we had electricity. My house had electricity. No other house did. Somehow, my house, or my uncle's house, had electricity. Not a mark on the house. The garbage can didn't even blow away. And everybody was just like looking at that house and looking at the rest, and they're like, how is that even possible? Well, the Lord put protection over that house. Plus, he scooted my butt out of the city the night before to make sure I wasn't there. I never, ever did that. Just, 9 o'clock at night, let's just jump in the car and go to the country. It's never happened before. It's the only time in my whole 55 years I've ever done that. He wanted me out of there, and he protected my home, and I was beyond grateful. I mean, I knew that the Lord had done that. At that time, I wasn't exactly sure, 100% sure why, but I'd already had some experiences that said the Lord was looking after me in a big way. But that one really confirmed it. Not even a missing garbage can. Like, it was weird to look at, to see all the destruction around it everywhere. There was no house that wasn't touched except the one I lived in. That was the only one. And all darkness, no lights except in mine. I walked in the front door. My uncle was sitting there watching this big screen. He's having a beer and just chilling. He's like, don't understand it. He said, everyone else, no power, their houses are destroyed. He's like, I went over this place with a fine-tooth comb. He's like, it never touched us. It's like, wow. So I've got other stories I could tell as well that indicate the same thing, but that one, I've never told that on here before. I've told most of the other ones. That one I never really mentioned before. But I also have a friend, his name is Matt. He's another anointed one that I've been chatting with every now and then, and we keep in communication. I was telling him about the protection that the anointed usually have from God, what he usually does for us. And it was one of those wildfires ripped through this area, and it was a family member, his same thing. It's like the fire went around that house. It's someone else in his family he thought was, like an anointed person. Fires just went around that house, didn't touch it. I've heard so many stories from anointed people like that. Or car accidents where there's no way you'd ever survive that car accident, and they come out of it without a scratch on them, not even a mark. It's just, I guess there was someone a few weeks ago was saved by a cross around his neck. He got shot in the chest, but he had a cross on, and the bullet hit the cross, and it made it deflect. So he still got shot, but it was just a minor wound because of the cross. The cross completely saved him. They're like, good thing you were wearing that cross. That's what saved you. That's the Lord. The cross itself didn't do the job on its own. The Lord made that happen. So one has to realize the Lord is in control of absolutely everything at all times. There's nothing he's not controlling. Okay, he doesn't have things get away from him or get out of control. They go exactly the way he wants them to at all times. There are no exceptions to that. He's more powerful than anybody realizes. You can just sit around and think about this kind of thing, and it's in bewilderment. It's how this amazing supreme being can control every last thing that takes place down here is mind-boggling. But he certainly does. And if you're anointed and he's got a purpose for you later, he's not going to let anything happen to you until your mission's complete. So like with the fallen soldier, Charlie Kirk, I made a video on last night. A lot of people will have real mixed feelings on that. Why would he let, I'm guaranteeing that somebody's going to say something like, oh yeah, why didn't your God save Charlie then? The atheists will have that attitude. His mission was done. His mission was done. He'd done what the Lord wanted him to do, and the Lord called him home. So he's home now. It's up to the Lord when he does that. It's not up to anybody else. He decides when you're done down here. And Charlie did a lot of good. He did a lot of good. So the Lord said, okay, you're done. I'm bringing you home now. And I'm sure Charlie is quite happy to be home. He's in heaven. Doesn't get any better than that. This is more like hell down here. I mean, being on Earth is not it's not necessarily the most fun place to be. Sometimes it's downright horrible. Like, for my cat right now, you can hear I'm making a video at this time of day, and he hates me making videos. Sammy boy, stop that, you turkey. Stop it, buddy. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Lord's in control, folks. No matter what, he's in control at all times. He decides if something happens to you or not. He decides. And if he's not finished with you, he'll save you from that hurricane, he'll save you from that tornado, save you from that house fire, whatever it is. When he's done, then he might not do that and let you go home. So, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. I will see you all in the next one, and I look forward to it very much. Remember that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.